Well, hello for the second time tonight. All right, interesting. I'm going to wait here a minute for all of you to rejoin. For those of you who might be watching this replay, we were cut off. We were cut off on the last Facebook Live, like in one of the most powerful moments. It is no coincidence that everything just shut down. My mobile data went so slow that I switched it to Wi-Fi. Then I went back to mobile data, and I came back to Wi-Fi. And the whole cyberspace decided to shut down. And do you know what? For those of you who have been to my workshops, thank you. Oh, great to have you all back on here. We're going to start that acronym again in a second. But listen, this is a sign of the power, because every force has an equal and opposite force. For every force that exists, there must be an equal and opposite force. So sometimes the way for you to know your power, the way for you to know the weight of your words that you're about to speak, is by the power that is acting against you. Because if there has to be a power this strong to try to disconnect us from every angle, that's the power of the enemy, or whatever it is out there that tries to interrupt our power. That's a sign of how powerful the message is. That in order to block the message, the whole of internet land had to decide to shut down. All right, so I take it as a total compliment that we just got kicked off. I always say opposition, anything that opposes you, in this case the internet, but opposition is a sign that you're in position. So we are in position. Are you guys all back on? Hey there, Josh Painter. Wow, good to see you. Back from the bush. Okay, so everyone cool? Hit your love button or your like button if you're ready to roll again. Yeah, Lisa, you have no idea what my day has been today. I am on fire for sure. Oh, hello there, Nikki Brown. Okay, let's get back into this message. There's about 30 of you back on like there was before we got cut off. Okay, so I'm not going to cover what we've already covered. If you haven't watched the first video that we got cut off from, go to my wall and find that and watch that. It's really important. Let's get back into where I was at. So I'm going through the acronym for integrity, okay, that I literally made up in a space of like 45 seconds tonight while I was doing my hair. It just flowed through me from another realm. Hello there, Luana. And Cheryl. Okay, let me get focused. I'm not reading your comments anymore. They distract me. Okay, let's go through this. So I for integrity. Okay, well, we're talking about being in integrity with yourself. The I stands for intuition. Okay, whenever you are in integrity with yourself, intuition will flow through you. You will feel things intuitively. You will not have to use your thoughts on your brain too much, because you'll feel it all. And if ever you're in a situation where you can't seem to feel, you're using your head too much, you're using your brain too much, you can't seem to drop from your mind down to your heart, or to make a decision on something, or to decide whether you take a risk on something, or whatever it might be, if ever you're in that situation, the reason you can't connect intuitively, you're out of integrity. Whatever it is you're doing, integrity is the pathway that connects you with higher self, or the larger power, or the other realm, or whatever it is that you like to call it. Okay, so number one is intuition. You'll find your intuition. You'll feel your way through things when you're in integrity with yourself. Number two, the letter N, okay, non-negotiable. When you are in integrity with yourself, you become non-negotiable on whatever it is you're talking about, whatever behavior it is that you are using, whatever decision it is that you are making. You are just non-negotiable. There are no other options. You are not open to compromise, and you won't be influenced by anyone else. You'll find it so easy to just be non-negotiable, okay? Because it's like there's not even another option. There isn't even a gray area. I just know. How do I know? I feel. Why do I feel? That's my intuition. Why have I got intuition on this? Because I'm in integrity with myself. Okay? Anytime you're not in a position of being non-negotiable, just question and just check with yourself to see whether you are in your full integrity, or whether you are giving up part of your integrity to be accepted, to be liked, to please someone, or, to continue being who you're not, that society taught you were. So non-negotiable. The T stands for transparent. Transparency. When you're in your own integrity, when you're in integrity with yourself, you will find it so comfortable to be completely transparent. There won't be a corner of your soul that you need to hide. There won't be a part of you that you need to apologize for. There won't be something that you feel you need to be a bit careful on. You're totally open, you're totally transparent about anything to do with you, about your values in that moment, about your thoughts in that moment, about the decisions that you're about to make or that you have made. You're totally open about it, and you don't have a problem being transparent about exactly what it is you believe, about exactly what it is you're thinking, and exactly why you're making the choices you're making. Okay? You'll find that easy when you're in integrity with yourself. The E stands for ease. You know, you've heard me say that this sense of grace and ease has come over my life since I've got to this part of my journey in the last, let's say 2.5 years. And it's true. Life, things start to feel not easy. Things aren't easy, but there's ease in all of the things you do, in all of the decisions you have to make. There's this deep sense of peace that underlies what takes place, and things just start to happen for you. Then the next one is G, which stands for grace. Grace and ease, or ease and grace, right? When you are in your integrity, grace will fall on you. And grace is unexplained power. And what happens is you will be favored. And where there is favor, there is flow. Okay? Where there is favor, there is flow. So you will get in your flow. Things just happen. Stuff that, for me personally, stuff that I thought I was going to work towards over the next 18 months to 2 years have shown up in my lap in the last 3 days, and particularly this morning. And, just things that you couldn't manufacture if you tried. There is no way that you would ever have the power, have the influence, have the connections to set those things up. But when flow blesses your life, it's because it's happening under an act of grace. And the reason it's all happening under the act of grace is because you are in your integrity. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Now, then it leads me to the next letter, which is R, which stands for resolve. Resolve. With the challenging life decision I had to make recently that I explained in the last video before we got cut off, I was resolved. It doesn't mean it was easy. It was challenging. There was hurt. There was disappointment. There was this. There was that. There was all of that. But I was resolved. It was so, when people said to me, how did you do it? Like, how do you just do that? And you're so resolved. That's what it is. I'm in integrity with myself. And you can be too. You see, any decision that you're trying to make that you don't have resolve around, complete, utter resolve, you're resolute, you are sold out on it. Again, I ask you a question, are you in full integrity with yourself, or are you making this decision for the benefit of someone else, to be pleased someone else, to be approved of by someone else, to not rock the boat too much, to not go shaking someone's bushes, to not offend someone, to not hurt their feelings? You're in a state of resolve when you're in integrity with yourself, all right? Any decision you make is never hazy when you're in integrity. There's no confusion. You don't have that intense confusion that just frustrates the hell of you, and it batters your spirit. It batters your spirit. It's toxic. If you're in that kind of state, if you're in a state of confusion or I'm not sure all the time, if you can't make strong, resolute, resolved decisions in your life, you are out of integrity with yourself, and that creates emotional poison. You know what happens when you take poison, even just once a week, let alone once a day, let alone once an hour? You get sick. You get sick in mind, you get sick in body, you get sick in spirit. The relationships around you all start getting sick. They all become fake. They all become no trust, no transparency. They're not real. All these things. Every area of your life starts getting sick. It starts perishing. And to perish doesn't mean to die. It means to decay. It means to rot away. It means the value of something diminishes. That's what happens when you can't decide and act from a state of resolve. And the only time you can't do that is when you're out of integrity with yourself. The next one is I. Again, inspired. When you are in integrity, the decisions you make are inspired from another place. You don't just think them. The word inspired comes from the root word in spirit. Whenever you are inspired by something, it wasn't given to you. Let's say, for example, right now, this is inspiring you. You don't say to me, oh, Holly, you inspire me. Because in order for what I've just said to inspire you when it didn't inspire the next person, for example, the reason it inspired you is because that message or that truth already existed in your spirit. Inspire in spirit. You can only be inspired by something that already exists within your spirit. So someone else isn't giving that to you. They are just reintroducing that part of you to you. You're just being reintroduced to something that was already there. So don't ever tell someone, oh, you inspire me. What you can say is, I was inspired by that, meaning I received and was introduced to what was in my spirit by that. When you are in integrity, your actions are inspired from another place. You feel inspired, even when the decisions you have to make are heavy ones, even when you know they're going to affect other people, sometimes in a negative way. You know they're going to hurt other people sometimes. It's like, my intentions are not to hurt you. I'm not going to make a decision with the intentions for it to be at the detriment to you, but I will make decisions with the intentions for it to be at the benefit of myself. And if it so happens that in that process it does hurt your feelings, I'm not sorry for that. That's part of the journey. Maybe I'm sent to you as a messenger for one of your lessons. It is not my intentions to do it for it to be any detriment to you, but if it so happens that it is, I will stay in integrity with myself and I'll make the decision anyway. Because it comes from this inspired place. It's not forced. You don't have to convince yourself over it. You don't have to manipulate yourself about it. You're in your truth. You're in your power. And so you're inspired by everything you do. Okay, the next one is T, for trust. When you are in integrity with yourself, it's easy to trust you back yourself. Even if you've never done this before, even if this scares the hell out of you, even if you're not sure what the outcome is, you can't even see the next 30 seconds of your life after this decision is made, even if you know you're taking a risk, there's something about it that you just trust about. You back yourself. It's like, I don't even need to question whether or not this is right. I'm in full trust of myself and the fact that this decision I'm about to make is the right one. How do I know that? I'm in integrity with myself. Here's what happens. Let me take that one step further. When you are in integrity with yourself, people around you, they feel it. They don't need to hear you. They don't need you telling them, oh, this is just my truth. They feel your truth. And you know what happens when you see at that vibration, you're at your highest vibration. You are totally in alignment with the you that you really are. Not the you that you've been acting like you are, or the you that you were taught you are, the you really are. And when people feel that in you, they trust you too. So that last T is trust. Not only do you trust yourself, but everyone else around you trusts you. And they can't even explain why they trust you. They might not have ever met you before. Someone might be watching this video right now for the first time ever, got no idea who I am, never heard one of my messages. But because I'm in such integrity with myself right now, they'll feel it. Even if they don't know me from a bar or so, they'll feel it. And there'll be something about that vibration that tells them, I can trust her. I can trust that this is the truth. I can take some advice from her even though I've got no idea what her background is. That's what happens. Everyone trusts you because you trust yourself. Why? Because you're in integrity. And then the final letter, the Y. The Y of integrity, yeah? When you're in your integrity, you can be you. You get to be yourself. Unequivocally, completely and wholly, you get to be you. You're not compromising anything about you for anyone. You're not apologizing. You're not making any level of compromise. You are just you, and it is freeing, and you feel it, and you know it, and you've never felt a sense of peace so deep. And even if you don't know what happens next, it's impossible for you to be in any state of fear because you are so full of faith. Because see, fear and faith cannot coexist. It's like darkness and light. They can't exist at the same time. If you walk into a room and a room that's full of darkness, you don't work out, how do I get rid of the darkness? You go, no, where's the light? How do I bring the light in? You see, only one can exist, darkness or light. Same with fear and faith. Don't try work on how do I get rid of my fear. You try work on how do I bring in faith. How do I have more faith? We don't have fear problems, we have faith problems. You know why we have faith problems? We behave too much outside of our integrity. We're not in integrity with ourselves often enough. And anytime that we feel like we have to apologize for it. We feel like we have to be sorry for who that might offend. But the more you practice integrity, the more you find peace, the more you find ease, the more your life finds flow, the more you find purpose, and you will never be so fulfilled. Your body gets well, your mind gets well, your associations change, your relationships nourish you and they fuel you. And it brings us back to what I said at the beginning of the whole night, which was in the other video that we got cut off from, that I'll just repeat before I close out. That all of those things regarding integrity, remember that integrity is number one. It's choosing courage over comfort. Number two, it's choosing what's right over what's fun, fast, or easy. And number three, it's practicing your values, not just professing them. So guys, as I always say, it takes courage to live this way. It takes courage to live in your integrity. It takes courage to give yourself permission to even go there. It takes courage to get in alignment. So please, whatever you do, don't ever leave anywhere. Don't ever walk out of a room the same person you were when you walked in. When you leave this broadcast tonight, don't leave here the same person you were. Let something touch you. Let something resonate. Let something make you bleed on the inside to own that piece of information, to own what spoke to you during this. So please depart from here with courage. The courage to believe in a better way. The courage to voice what you've got to say. The courage to thrive when times are tough. And above all else, the courage to know you are good enough. Good night, everyone. Oh, wait a minute. Listen, I forgot one thing. I said that I'd be giving a free coaching session because of all the muck around tonight. I got a bit distracted by that. Here's what I want you to do. Stay on live and listen. Stay on live and listen. I appreciate all of you that follow me, all of you that share me. For those of you who don't know, I'm in the process of starting my own TV show. I was originally going to do it myself in a bit of an amateur style until I got big, but it's going big straight away. And I've got my new brand being released. My intentions are to have that released at the end of next week. So stay tuned. There's so many new announcements, so many things that I haven't even been putting on Facebook recently because I'm kind of saving it for all of it to be announced at once. So stay tuned for that. And there's going to be big opportunities for you to be on my show, for me to interview your children, so many big things. Anyway, I am giving away 20 minutes of coaching. But I only want to coach you if you're ready for it. We're only going to have 20 minutes. So I want you to be so ready for that 20 minutes that we can help you shift, that we can get you to a new level, that that you can let go of some stuff that holds you back or that creates blocks in your life literally inside 20 minutes. Not that everything's done, but it gets you on your way because you're so ready for it. So here's what I want from you. I want to know, and this only goes to people who are on live, okay? I'm not going to make my time available for you if you can't make your time available for me. That's a fair deal, right? Get on live. I like to communicate. I like to see live interaction. And so for those of you who do, I'm happy to give something back. So one person's going to get this. I want you to take some time. Don't be in a rush because I'm not going to choose it until tomorrow morning, okay? You've got tonight. Leave with this message in your soul. Don't go and get distracted by the fact that kids' school lunches have to be made and blah, blah, blah. It's okay to stay up another 15 minutes late tonight, okay? So stay right where you are. Stay in the vibration you're in and think, what do you need? Where's your life at? How ready are you to change that, to let go, despite the pain that it might take, despite the courage it might take, despite how challenging it might be? How ready are you for the truth? How ready are you to stand in your truth, to stand in your integrity, to live that way, to own all of that, regardless, irrespective of the costs? Irrespective, it's like you don't even have regard for the consequences. That was what happened for me with the decision I made recently. I didn't even have any regard. I was so in my truth, so in my integrity, so strongly and so deeply feeling, so resolved about everything that just happened, that I went through there, that I had no regard for the consequences. I didn't care at all. Not even one little bit. It didn't matter what you could have done to me. Okay? I literally felt like I was Nelson Mandela. Like, dude, put me in jail for all those years if you like. I'm standing on this, okay? So I want to know that about you. And I want you to be at a point, because this is how you know you're ready. You remember that part of being in integrity with yourself is being transparent. It's being willing to say, here's where I am. Here's who I am. This is me. So I want you to post a comment between now and tomorrow morning before 10 o'clock. I want you to post a comment here for everyone to see if they want to, because it shows me I'm ready to be transparent. I'm exposing myself. I don't need to hide who I am, what my fears are, what I need in my life. I want you to learn how to ask for help when you need it, because all of us like being the helper, but none of us like asking for the help. And let me tell you something, why that's so. And next week, I'm going to do something on trust, okay? And trust, asking for help is a big key thing on building trust in all of your relationships to make them mean something. If you judge yourself for asking for help, I guarantee you it is impossible for you not to judge the person that you help. Yeah, that's why it's so important for you to learn to ask for help. Because when we all help each other, we need to do it without judgment. We need to be able to do it with pure heart, with pure intention. And if you judge yourself because you need something, because you need help from somewhere else, because you can't work some stuff out on your own right now, if you feel like that makes you a bad person or wrong or bad or not whole for asking for help, if that's how you judge yourself, then by the same standard, whether you realize it or not, subconsciously, you judge everyone else the same way that asks you for help. So you think you're being the hero by helping everyone. But you know what? That's just where you get your self-worth. You need that. Because you need to be able to judge those people so in that moment you feel more powerful than them. That's where you're buying your self-worth, trying to be the helper everywhere. But you are judging everyone you help. That's why you can't ask for help, because you judge yourself. So I want to know who's ready for the coaching, who's open, who's transparent, who's willing to expose and go, I don't have anything to hide anymore. I'm ready to own who I am, be in integrity with myself, because this 20-minute call, I want it to be powerful. I don't want to do no fluffy, fuzzy, feel good, oh, that felt real cute kind of call. Okay, I want the kick I'm going to get out of that, the return I'm going to get on my time. It won't be a financial return. It'll be so much more. It'll be a significant return. It'll be a spiritual return. You know what I want to happen? What I want out of this? I want you, whoever this person is, to be able to come back to me in a week, in a month, or post on my wall, or let me know somehow about the definite change that occurred, the impact. I want this 20 minutes. I don't want this to be a minute in your life. I want it to be a moment. I want it to be that pivotal point that if you turn 105 and you can't remember my name because you're all got dementia and all senile or something like that, it doesn't matter. You still remember the moment. I can't remember the girl. I can't remember what she said, but I never forget the moment. That's what I want the 20 minutes to be, and I want to know that I made a contribution to that 20 minutes or to your life in that 20 minutes. So I want to post it here, what it is, why you think you deserve 20 minutes of my time, and I will definitely be giving it out to one person, and every week from now on I want to do that. I want to give, to those of you who give to me. So thank you guys. I do appreciate you all, and I appreciate you dialing in a second time tonight. So much love to you all, and we'll see you next week. And by then I should have big announcement. See ya. Good night.